Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is Paddock Live. Joining me is an absolute legend of the fan channel, right back to the full-time Devils days. It is Mr. Gaz Drinkwater. How are we doing, sir?
Hello, mate. That's very formal of you.
It is very formal.
It's nice that you've tied your laces for me as well.
I went to answer the door to Gaz before. My laces were untied. I had to convince him that I'd not had a mental breakdown. I was okay. I was just a bit scruffy. There's loads of stories we're going to get through. Make sure you're getting involved in the chat and the comments. And I don't want to start on a downer, Gaz, but I think we should acknowledge it. We found out the sad news about Ray Morgan, otherwise known as Ray Bobbins, who you knew very well. A legend of the full-time Devils days, talking of that. Sort of summed it up perfectly, didn't it, what many of us were thinking during the Moyes era.
Like that word bobbing sums up United, doesn't it, in that era.
And when you watched his fan cams and his fan reactions, he was very articulate. It wasn't just a rant. He summed it up what was going on and how we all felt about it. And I think with Ray as well, he was it reminded everyone that fan cams weren't just a load of young YouTubers who just stumbled into Old Trafford for the first time live. It was old school, Raz. It was for everyone. It was a bit of that. So he was an important figure.
Yeah, some of the videos we did with him as well were good. I mean, I did one when I was like 19 years old, where I sat with him in the Nag Z. And we sat there and we spoke about the Busby Babes. It was on the anniversary, the Munich anniversary. And you know, that generation of blokes, often they don't show a lot of emotion, do they? No. Guy sat there and was very, very emotional during this whole chat, talking about how much the Babes meant to him, how much they've influenced him, and it's actually a really good video. It's about 10 years old now, so he might be saying things on there like, "We'll be back next year and win the league." And
I think we've all said that on camera.
I probably said it in the video, but top guy, very, like you say, very articulate, very knowledgeable, and just proper passionate geezer, nice guy.
He'll be sorely missed, and thoughts with his family. We've got some stories to get into. Producer Ben's running the show today, so if you like the puns or you don't, it's all on him. What's your first one, my friend?
Here we go.
Never emirated him anyway. Do you know what? Hang on a minute. Right.
What Emmy? What's the Emmy?
I like. Right.
He's in the Arsenal kit.
Yeah.
I've not read. I can't read.
I think this is quite good. I think it's actually a decent one. Yeah, it makes sense. It's quite funny. Never rated him anyway. Didn't fancy you anyway. I think. But you're the guest. What do you reckon? Your decision is final.
I'll give it a 7.
Oh,
I'll give it a 7.
Jesus Christ,
maybe 6.5.
He's get a nosebleed if he gets 7. He's last.
It's all right. No,
how's that happened?
It makes sense. It's clever.
Yeah,
I like it.
And also sometimes on the first one they'll get a bit giddy.
Yeah,
they'll test the waters with a ridiculous one to see what they can get away with. Do you know what I mean? We've had a few of them. So a good, solid 7 out of 10 start. Well done.
You could see like a tabloid using that on the back page, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
which is
that's the standard you're at here. The red tops.
The red top tabloid papers that we often dismiss. You've reached that level. Go on, I'll let you read us through this.
So Gyokeres expected to be on the move this summer. He's contracted to Sporting for another 3 years. Massive, huge release clause worth €100 million, but Sporting Lisbon are also open to a sale to raise some cash and are ready to part ways with Gyokeres for around £58 million. I heard this yesterday. There's loads of clubs in for him, apparently. Ruben Amorim still hopes to bring him to Old Trafford, despite United's struggles since his appointment. Liverpool have been heavily linked with the move, as Arne Slot looks to bring in a recognised striker to lead the line and replace Darwin Núñez. I mean, he's not a recognised striker, he's barely even a recognised footballer. But both United and Liverpool could be set for disappointment because Gyokeres favours a move to Arsenal. That's according to, is it A Bowler?
I think so.
Right.
That favours there in inverted commas always makes me think, how sort of reliable is this? But to be fair, we are hearing this, and it does feel as though Gyokeres isn't going to come to Manchester United now, doesn't it?
I mean, obviously, the Amorim factor is the only thing that gives me confidence that we could get Gyokeres. If I'm Gyokeres, though, unless he grew up a United fan, I don't know, maybe there's pictures of him in a United shirt, he's looking at either two clubs that really need a striker, Arsenal, Man United. You go to Man United, be the goal-scoring striker, and you might get us Champions League football if you have an unbelievable season next season. You go to Arsenal, and you really turn it on, you could win the league. Yeah. Because that is all Arsenal really have been missing this season. If they had that 100%. That absolute bagsman, they would have won the league or would have competed better.
Yeah, the thing here is, well, we don't know what United's financial situation is. You'd imagine Arsenal have got enough money to go out and buy a striker. And like you said, Gaz, United need players in all sorts of positions. Arsenal mainly need a striker, don't they? That's the big one that needs sorted out.
It's such an obvious gap. I can understand why Arsenal fans are annoyed. I don't think it's annoying to Arteta, although maybe it is a little bit. But how did they not go out and get that striker in the summer? And then January comes around and they put arbitrary bidding for Watkins, which was never going to be accepted. Like, all they needed was a striker, man.
They did. That could have been the difference. I mean, I'm still not sure, but certainly going into next season, they've got someone like Gyokeres, and if he gets anywhere near the numbers he's got this season, I know obviously he's playing in a different league, and the Premier League's a lot tougher, but if even if he used to get half, if he used to get like 25 goals by March or April, you'd be like...
Also, 58 million quid.
I know, you don't get anything for that.
That's all right, isn't it?
That's all right. Yeah. It's annoying that we're probably not going to get him because, like you said, Ruben Amorim knows him. We need a striker. That isn't extortionate, but he might be one of them as well. He might live in London. You don't know. There's a million reasons why you could prefer Arsenal, and yes, he knows Ruben Amorim, but he might look at it and go, well, United's track record of managers, I could sign for Ruben Amorim. He could be gone by January.
It's very possible.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know. Get involved in the chat and comments. Do you think Viktor Gyokeres will come to Manchester United? Should he do so?
I like him though. I
do. Abinam Verma says, how has Joe Smith shrunk? John Neal in the chat, legend John Neal says,
Love
go
John.
on, Gaz.
Love John.
K Slater 23 says, big Gaz. Big Gaz, eh?
Hey, there you are. Someone saying I've shrunk. Someone saying I've grown.
I know, yeah.
I'll
what's going on? Yeah, we'll have a bit of that. Chris Griffith says, what's Cavani doing these days? We need like a...
What is Cavani doing?
I don't know, where is Cavani?
Is he
He's back in his...
Yeah, I bet he loves it over there, doesn't he?
Well, he's back in South America.
He loves
it.
it.
Boca Juniors.
I miss Cavani. It's a shame how we dealt with Cavani. Isn't it?
It was, that second season was horrible, wasn't it? Yeah, that first season was mint though.
I can't believe we took the number off him.
We're just... Everything United do is just daft in it and stupid and like... Every time we have nice things, we somehow ruin it. You know what I mean? It's like we can't have nice things anymore.
How can Ronaldo come back and we still like debate whether it was the right decision? We re-signed Ronaldo.
I know. Do you know what?
I still loved it. I don't care. I loved it.
I'm with you. I think he was going to go to City, right? I think he'd have got them over the line in the Champions League that season. Can you imagine watching him lifting the Champions League with Manchester City? Imagine how it's not the same as like Tevez winning a title with him, whatever. No. That'd have hurt that. So I know they won it later anyway, but I'd still rather they didn't win it with Ronaldo.
The annoying thing is, and I look back about Ten Hag's time with this, and it sort of annoys me with the Ronaldo situation. And maybe Ronaldo wouldn't have responded well to this, but I think Ten Hag, maybe he did, by the way, maybe he just sat him down at the start of the season and he should have said, like, you are going to win us trophies, right? You are going to be massively important to this team, but you are not going to start every game. Oh, sorry, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I should say. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You're not going to start every game though, Ronnie. You're going to come on when we really need you, be that clutch player. You're probably going to be player of the season because people are going to love the important goals that you score. But the way we play, this fast counter-attacking style, it doesn't suit you. But when we need a goal, you're the man I'm looking to. And nowadays, bringing Harry Maguire on to play centre forward.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I think with Ronnie though as well, I think he's always had half an eye on this goal scoring record. I think that's the issue. Because remember, he spat his dummy out when he was dropped for the Everton game. I think you're right. You could convince him that would have been perfect because the system kind of worked without him. But I think the thing with Ronnie is he's got this obsession, hasn't he, with goals. He wants to get to this 1,000 goals or whatever. What's he on now? I forget. But I think he wants to be like the all-time top goal scorer ever. Which is why if you watch him in Saudi Arabia playing against teams that, in front of one man and his dog.
Does it?
Yeah, but he's celebrating like he's just won the World Cup.
Yeah, I know, it's
like,
ridiculous.
Really? Come on, have a day off. But
ridiculous.
he's Ronnie, innit? It's annoying it didn't work out. But yeah, like you say, Gaz, that when we signed him, what a moment, what a day. Right, good solid start. Is this going to continue?
De Gea, not an outcast. Oh, I tell you what.
Yeah.
No, come on. That's brilliant. De Gea, not an outcast anymore. Best song of the night is that.
I caught a glimpse then, right? Producer Ben leant back on his chair and I caught a glimpse of his smile and it was one of them, he went like this, he went, can I have a single? He went, just a little.
Just you, he knew. You were cooking there.
Yeah.
This is David De Gea's outstanding performances, which are apparently embarrassing the Old Trafford board. We've got plenty to be embarrassed about. I don't think they're that bothered about what De Gea's doing.
I noticed we've gone for the full.
I didn't even clock that.
He always, you know what, right? They always do this, and he's done it on his own tonight. So fair play to him.
Great stuff.
There's times right, not tonight, but there's times when Paddock Live is late because these lot are messing about doing bloody stupid photoshops.
The Andre 3000 outfit, I like it.
Yes, go on, I'll let you talk us through this.
So David De Gea departed in 2023, obviously after not renewing his contract. He's resurged strongly at Fiorentina and he's become a key player for them. Is that their nickname, Palladino? Oh, the manager.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I'm glad I'm glad that was answered before I got the opportunity. So I was going to go, yes.
Just make me look like the idiot. It
means purple in Italian.
He could have said that. We
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Nice one. One of the most reliable goalkeepers in Serie A. His performances have not gone unnoticed, and there are serious considerations in Manchester about his potential return. His contract expires in June, but the club is expected to activate a clause to extend it for another year. Nevertheless, public pressure and United's desire to correct their mistake could lead to negotiations. United acknowledge that his departure was a mistake, and they aim to regain what they should have never lost.
Right, there's something you need to know about this story. It's nonsense.
Right.
From top to bottom, right? It's a great pun. It's a nice little Photoshop, but Fihaji's, right, it's basically a comic book. It's like the Beano, right? It's good because it's got one of those names where it could be telling the truth. Yeah. You got a Reddit in Fihaji's. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, well, they know what's going on in Syria. They don't. They just make up shit.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, man, nice.
Right, but we thought we'd talk about it because and then what happens is they'll publish it. Someone like the Mirror or someone might pick up on it and go, oh, rumours or reports De Gea could end up back at Old Trafford, and it's bollocks. Now and again they'll get things right, just the law of averages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you do 100 stories,
we could all do that.
3 of them will be accurate because just by luck. They haven't got any sources. I don't think there's a cat in hell's chance of David De Gea coming back to Manchester United. Now, again, anything's possible. We probably said that about Cristiano Ronaldo at one point. It could. I just don't think it will. I certainly don't think these have got any sources that have told them it's going to happen. I think this is just pure guesswork and speculation. I'd be very, very surprised if David De Gea came back to Manchester United now.
I just found it mad with De Gea that he took a year out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And he was posting on his Instagram story of him like training at Oldie's ground.
Yeah, he stayed around Cheshire where he lives.
Weird. I had people text me, I've just seen David De Gea around about. I was like, what? Is he doing in Tesco? I didn't know he was allowed back in that Tesco after robbing the donuts.
Did I tell you I got a message about that? One of my exes, this is years ago, my ex messaged me and she went, my mate works in Tesco in Altrincham and he just caught a United player shoplifting, right? So I went, which one is it? Find out. And she went, David something, right? So I was thinking, David, who could that be? And it dawned on me, I was like, De Gea? He's like, yeah. I went, don't be stupid. He's on about fucking 100k a week. He's not going to be nicking donuts out of Tesco's, you moron, right? Next thing I know, about a day later or whatever, he sent me a picture of like the front page of the Sun, David the Donut or whatever it was. I was like, yeah, fuck off.
And now she's working at Fihaji.
Yeah, well, now she's... Well, I just blocked her and insults. But yeah, I don't think he's coming back to Altrincham Tesco's anytime soon. You might think differently. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think. Ross Murphy says for Hajis, I've had them in an international chip shop. DP does code says I'd take De Gea back all day. Greg says he gave a year. I don't know. Oh right, sorry. He gave a year to Ardern. She didn't want to live in Manchester forever, so can understand. Sanail says had to be replaced. He simply wasn't the same since the 2018 World Cup, but Onana is simply not good enough to replace him. This is the thing, right? You might not think Onana is good enough, but that doesn't mean that De Gea coming back is the answer.
No.
That it came this binary thing, didn't it, where it was like, we kept De Gea or we got Onana. And then there was never like this discussion, well, there were other options. We didn't have, how much did we spend on Onana? Like 45 million or something?
About 60 odd.
60, sorry, that makes more sense. Like, you could have quite easily got a good goalkeeper for 60 million quid.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, only Onana's available.
One thing that I will say, and the thing is with David De Gea is, it's annoying because we're talking about a guy that played so long for Man United, was our player of the season so many times, but when I see his face, it just takes me back to that Europa League final. And it's like the worst ever penalty shootout performance ever from a goalkeeper. Has there ever been a goalkeeper that lets every penalty in and then misses his penalty?
I was talking about this on the podcast, I think it was on the watch along the other day, right? And this sounds horrible, right? I like De Gea.
So, yeah.
I saw a thing where my mate said this, where it's like, everyone who's ever lived can't have done worse than what David De Gea did.
Everyone ever.
Like, you can't do worse than not save any penalties out of 11 or whatever it was and miss your own. Like, that is as bad as you can. Me and you could have done that.
No, you are right.
Yeah, like it's impossible.
Law of averages.
Yeah.
You could have took one person from Old Trafford. Chances are,
yeah,
they would have at least got themselves in front of one. Or at least
I guarantee there's lots of people that would have done exactly the same as De Gea and not saved any penalties and missed their own. But the point is, it couldn't have been any worse. No one could have done any worse. That is literally the worst thing you can do, is not save any out of about 11. The entire team scores against you and you miss your own.
He could have not been there, and the same thing would have happened. Like,
like it's kind of insane, isn't it? It was like, I think that has got to be one of the all-time worst performances by a goalkeeper in a shootout. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on David. I don't even blame him for not scoring his penalty. It's one of them, innit? But really and truly, we didn't turn up in that final.
One of the arguments with Onana and De Gea, though, is why did we get rid of David De Gea? What were the reasons?
Distribution. But also with De Gea, I think confidence. Do you remember the Sevilla game?
Oh, what, with Harry Maguire and the...
Honestly.
Oh, no.
And the FA Cup final, didn't, Gundogan, the second goal in particular, didn't cover himself in glory. I mean, there was a few clangers from De Gea.
No, there were. Yeah. But we've had them from Onana as well.
No, mate. No, this is the thing, though. I don't know if Onana's the answer.
Yeah, and you bring in Onana, and as you say, distribution, that was the big thing. Onana doesn't have it either. And he doesn't. Yeah. I'm not seeing it at all. I see him in the warm-ups pinging these 60-yard balls straight to feet, and he's like the game starts, and you just don't see it.
He's a worry in here, Onana. We've got a Villa fan in the chat. He says it's called Up the Villa. He says thanks again for Rarford. Rarford, that's not a thing. And then he's got mugged, laughing emojis.
I'll say something to that Villa fan.
Go on.
Rashford's been bang average at Villa.
Oh, I was making a similar-ish point.
He's been all right. He's been all right. He's been all right. In fact, he was just as good at the start of this season, United,
he's been for Villa now.
as he is right now.
I kind of agree with that.
But because we're Man United and you're Villa, people get on his back more. There's more pressure here.
I kind of get where you're coming from, because I was making this point of the day. I love Marcus Rashford, and I'm gutted he's not playing for Manchester United anymore. But I don't think that he's quite. I know he's in terms of his numbers, goals and assists. I think he's got 3 goals now and something like 4 assists. So it's 7 goals in like however many games, 10 games, whatever. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's a decent return. But when I've watched him, I thought, that's, like you say, similar to, at the beginning of the season, he was looking decent.
All right.
Yeah, it was like,
all right,
like, was it Port away? I know he ended up getting sub, but like you saw his goal and he was running the defenders. You look at the Brentford game, he's a couple of assists. You look at the Everton game, couple of assists. It wasn't like he wasn't doing anything for Manchester United. The obvious issues were he wasn't doing what the manager wanted him to do. So I understand why we had to move him on, and I hope this sort of narrative and the form that he's in gets better, because we want Marcus Rashford to move permanently, because he ain't going to come back. He's in play for Ruben Amorim. That's not going to happen. Get 40 million quid for him, get him off the wage bill, and invest that money in someone else. Right, let's look at the next one.
Always takes us a while, doesn't it?
Right, go on. Take him for free. Don't miss him anymore. Go on.
It's more like in a Manc accent. So it's
right.
Take him for free. Don't miss him anymore.
Don't. But what?
Dome.
Like
Dome.
Dome.
As in like don't, but you're missing it out because it's
2 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
It's not great.
Right.
Bad on.
Why have you done it Dom and not Dom?
It's freedom.
Oh, sorry, I've completely missed that.
I missed. No, you know what? Yeah,
right.
Freedom. Yeah,
sorry, that was a proper brain melt by me and Gaz.
4, 5 out of 10 just for that.
Okay,
yeah,
take him for free. Don't miss him anymore.
Stretch,
right.
But I get it.
Why are we using this picture again?
Yeah.
Right.
This one.
Yeah. Stop it. I don't like it when you do this. Put his head back to normal. Put his head back to how it should be.
No, that's the actual version.
Is that the actual head?
That's the actual version. That's the photoshopped version.
Right. Is that the actual head?
This is his actual head.
Right. Because I always do that. Like, it doesn't look right. Put your head. I'm not going to cup you. Don't worry. You're all right. Look, you see. It's mass. That can't be Jadon Sancho.
Big head.
Me and Gaz aren't the biggest of heads, but you can't fit like almost 2 of our heads inside Jadon Sancho's. I don't know about this. Go on, Gaz. Sorry. It always annoys me, this picture. I don't like it. And I feel like, even though Jadon Sancho is persona non grata at the minute with Manchester United fans, and I'm not particularly fond of him, I don't want to mock him with a photoshopped head. Go on. Ignore that.
I can't. So during a presser on Wednesday, Sancho's future arose as a topic of discussion. Maresca spoke about whether he had a message for Sancho and if the player needed to prove more to him and the club. He said, I won't do the accent, no, but to be honest, Probably you have more news than me. In terms of Jadon, for me, Jadon's situation doesn't change. It's exactly the same for sure. In terms of numbers, he could do better, no doubt. But it's not just about Jadon. I think we have more players in the same situation. Now, I don't need to give Jadon a message because I speak with Jadon every day. I had a conversation yesterday with him. He has just to continue to give his best until the end. And this is what we want from Jadon.
He obviously rates Bunny Maraska because he plays in pretty much every game. He's had a really decent run in that Chelsea side when a lot of players have been sort of rotated. It's just his numbers have been, I mean, he's alluded to it there, but his numbers have been shocking. I think he's at one goal involvement in his last 15 games or something. He's fell off a bit of a cliff after that initial good start. And he does that quite a lot. He did it at Dortmund last season, went there, had a decent start and tailed off, then had a very, very good performance in the Champions League semi-final first leg against PSG. When he came to United, there was didn't start off really well, but then he had a little spell where you thought, okay, this is the Sancho we wanted, then tailed off. So yeah, I don't know. I think his future might lie outside the Premier League.
I'm just bored of talking about Sancho at this point. The kid doesn't want to play for United. He's massively disrespected us on multiple occasions. Just let him go, man.
No, I agree.
He's done.
Greg says we may as well hope for 25 million rather than 5 million and win back. Only a year left on his deal. Yeah, he needs to go. BMW Racing 1974 says Jose Mourinho stole a man's nose this evening. Did you see that?
No.
If you get a chance, producer Ben, I know you've got enough on your plate. See if you can grab a picture of Jose grabbing someone's nose.
Like what? Like you do it like toddlers?
Like that. He sort of grabs him. Okay. It's just Jose, innit?
I love it.
Remember he poked someone in the eye? Decent pun that though, once you explained it to us thickos.
I always find jokes are funny when you've got to explain them, haven't you? Oh, this is Jose. Oh, he's gone down to ground as well, he's taking a dive.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, just absolute peak Jose. Should we move on to the next one then? We've got another one for us.
It's an obvious one. Yeah. It's an obvious one, but, you know, sometimes just a little tapping at the back post, it works, doesn't it?
Okay.
£40 million. Let him go for Nout.
Okay.
Is that how you spell Nout, by the way?
No.
I spell it with a W.
I spell it with a W.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't? Evidently.
So Antony's new suitor has emerged. Betis are interested in signing Antony on a permanent basis, but would need to break their transfer record to land him. Did you see, by the way, there was who was it who called for a crowdfunder to sign him for another season? Was it Isco? Yeah,
they're loving him, aren't they, over there? See him on Adrian's shoulders the other day waving the flag and all the fans going mad after the Sevilla derby. But you want him to do well.
Yeah.
I want him gone. I don't want him coming back.
Yeah.
But I want him to do well then.
He's
I want them to go, you know, we need to, or Atletico or anyone go, seen that kid, aren't they?
He's one of them anyway. Like, it's not like Sancho and to a lesser extent like Rashford where he tried his best at United. No one can say that he wasn't trying at United. He just didn't look that good.
No, he
wasn't
good
simple.
Yep.
So apparently, the I paper is reporting that rival interest emerged in him. Atletico have reported they expressed interest in signing the winger amid his successful spell in Spain. Antony's encouraging form means United are confident their demands will be met. United need to sell to free up funds for Amorim to spend, and the departure of Antony would be much needed boost. Rashford could also leave a £40 million purchase option, including in his loan move to Villa, while offers will be listened to for Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro.
Not liking this Kobbie Mainoo.
He's not going anywhere.
No, good lad. That's the spirit.
Yeah, no, he's not going anywhere.
I mean, if we can get 40 million for Antony, that'd be mint.
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be closest to 20.
Yeah.
But if you can get 40 million, then absolutely fantastic. If you get 40 million for Marcus, you get him off the wage bill, you get Casemiro off the wage bill, then you might have 100 million there to play with. That's not too shabby. Maybe as well you get one or two others out the door. We'll have to wait and see. The trouble is we haven't got many. We've got a few, but we haven't got many saleable assets. You've got Sancho, you've got Rashford, you've got Antony, of course. Then you're looking around the squad and you're going, do you want to lose a Mainoo?
Well,
Garnacho, maybe.
The rest of the players that if you wanted to sell, you'd have to replace.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, and then like some people look at Onana, for example. Well, how much are you going to sell him for? And are you going to buy someone who's better than him for the same price?
Value's not exactly gone up, has it?
No.
Someone like, I'm not saying you would, but if you would say, like, Højlund is not worked out, we're going to move you on, you're not going to get anywhere near the 72 million you paid for him. And also, people might look at it. I mean, he's still going to have suitors because he's young, good, young striker, but if he's coming off a season where he's been underperforming, it ain't going to happen. Same when Xerxes was linked with a move back to Serie A. Someone undoubtedly would come in for him because of how well he did at Bologna, helping them get in the Champions League last season. But again, you probably take a loss on him already.
I've got a mad question for you.
Go on.
It's horrible hypothetical, this. Who would you rather sell?
Yeah.
Kobbie Mainoo or Bruno Fernandes?
Oh, that's a horrible question, that.
Both same price, 90 million.
Do you know what?
It's horrible, isn't it?
I can't answer that.
You can't sell Bruno, can you? Because you might get relegated. 30 years old.
And also, yeah, mate, oh no.
Kobbie Mainoo, we don't know how good he's going to be.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be mint, but...
Maybe because of the age.
Yeah.
Because he wants, 11 years younger than the other
well,
one. Maybe that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's horrible.
But then imagine you keep Kobbie and he just, like, peters out a little
Yeah,
bit. You never know.
Tom Cleverley or something.
Could happen.
It's happened. Also, as well, I don't think for a minute Real Madrid are going to spend 90 million quid on Bruno Fernandes.
No,
Real Madrid usually go out and they get like the best player in the world, and you could argue Bruno Fernandes is up there with a lot of players, but they usually go out and they'll get like an Mbappe or a Bellingham or a Luis Figo or whatever, but they don't usually go out and get a 30-odd-year-old. It's usually like a 23, 24, 25-year-old who's smashing it. Yeah, I don't see it happening. The manager's already come out and said none of that. Right, decent, once you explained it. Not sorry, once you explained it, that's the other one. You lose a mark for misspelling now. I don't care how you do it, we don't do that. Go on, what else have you got for us, my brother? Go on.
Not too Xavi. Simon bored with this.
Right, okay. Yeah. Not too
Xavi
savvy.
Simons,
So I'm on board with this. Yeah, all right, we'll have a little bit of that.
Pronounced Simmons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Xavi Simons.
Yeah.
Are you just saying yeah, or do you actually know?
I don't.
RB Leipzig think that Xavi Simons is open to exit this summer. The feeling close to him is that he could be available for a fee of around 58 to 62 million pounds. Also known as £60 million.
Yeah.
In this transfer window, which is a potential big opportunity for many top clubs who've been following his rise, I'm avoiding saying his name, the same Premier League clubs attentive to Xavi's situation 1 year ago, including United, Liverpool and Arsenal, are still very informed on developments around the Dutch talent. Sources believe the Premier League could be a credible destination for Simons, with movement already anticipated for June, when several clubs can start exploring new signings for the summer transfer window.
I've seen this story in rounds, like, even going back last season. I don't think we're going to get him. I don't think we've got the money. I don't even know if he's a good player. I don't know if he's worth the risk. I just do not see this happening at all. I just don't. I can't get on board with it. It's one of them where I just think we ain't getting him. Like, you might.
He's one of them players where, like, you've maybe watched a couple of international games and been somewhat impressed, but I'm not watching Leipzig week in, week out.
No.
I'll be totally honest with you, mate. And this is the problem, innit? You hear about these names in Europe and you get excited about us buying him, but unless I've sat down and watched loads of his games all season, I can't tell you if he's consistent.
He looks all right to me. A few people in the chat kind of agreeing. Greg says this guy is overrated, I reckon. I think Chris Griffiths is talking about the pun. Says not bad, 6 out of 10. Ant Malak says no, that's not happening. Jamie Lomas says, lads, me bollocks don't work. If one of us has to sacrifice one or both to keep Bruno at the club, I'll take one for the team. Thank you, Jamie.
I've got 2 kidneys, you know what I mean? I've got 2 bollocks, so I'd let either of them go.
Yeah, you can always let one of them go to keep Bruno Fernandes at the club. I think that's a deal that United would take.
I'd get rid of both. I look good in a wig.
Right, sound, there you go then. Gaz is willing to give up both his bollocks for Bruno Fernandes to stay at the club. Can someone get Sir Jim on the phone, please? We've got a deal there. We've got an offer. Wayne Davies said Simons would just be another Memphis at United. He's getting compared to Memphis Depay quite a lot in the chat. Maybe because there's all these obvious similarities. I don't know whether it is just ability-based as well. But, yeah, it's not for me. Any more for any more? Yeah, one more. The final one. Go on.
The last lap in the race for Liam.
I think it's okay.
You having that?
Yeah, no. I think it's all right.
I'm going.
You're not having it?
4.
A 4?
3,
Wow.
3.
A 3? Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's United away at Forest. Poor player rating.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about his face unnerves me.
Who does he look like?
He looks like a dog that wished to be a human for a day.
Right, okay.
That's the vibe I'm getting from him.
He looks like someone, I can't remember who it is. Get involved in the chat. Who does Liam Delap look like?
Joe Smith always says he looks like him, but...
He looks like Joe Smith?
That's what Joe always says.
No, he doesn't.
He looks nothing like Joe Smith. Right, no, I don't see that. If there's someone, get involved in the chat. Chesney from Corrie. No, it's not him, says Chris Griffiths. Ozil, that's it.
It might be
Ozil. Laszlo, Puma
it?
Flex gets it. It is Ozil, Mesut Ozil, thank you. Go on, read us through this then.
So Romano wrote in his transfer newsletter that Delap's form so far this season could see him move on from Ipswich. Chelsea and United thought to be attentive, likes that word, doesn't he, to the situation. United especially having Delap on a shortlist of 4 to 5 strikers that they could look to land in the summer months. Wolves' win over West Ham on Tuesday pushed Ipswich further into relegation, and if they don't record at least double the amount of points they picked up so far this season, it's looking like a swift return to the Championship, which is positive for United and Chelsea though, as it strengthens their position in the market to land the England under-21 star Delap.
Gathering a bit of momentum, this Delap story. We spoke to Laurie Whitwell about it, that's going to be out tomorrow. I think Chris Wheeler's mentioned it as well, we're going to be speaking to him tomorrow too. It does feel like there's summit in it.
Are we sure he's better than Højlund?
This is a very, very good question. I don't want to be a politician, but I'll give you an honest answer.
Okay.
I think he thinks he's better than Højlund. I think he rates himself, and I think that might be the difference.
That is a good thing.
I think that's the difference. I think that Højlund at the minute looks like a man who's lost confidence, lost a bit of faith in some of his teammates as well, and maybe they've lost faith in him. And the one thing with this guy is he's a bit of a bastard, but he does seem to sort of exert his energy in the right way. Sometimes Højlund's getting involved in stuff that I just think, get up in the box, do that in the box, not on the halfway line.
I just feel like
he's not. I've said I don't want another relatively unproven striker. I know he's got 11 Premier League goals this season, whatever it is, but I'd rather went out and got someone who's got a bit of pedigree. However, if you're going to offer me no striker or Liam Delap, I'll take Liam Delap. But I think there's better strikers we can get out there who've scored consistently over the last 4 or 5 seasons.
We need an experienced striker in Højlund.
Jonathan David is there on a free. Is he someone who could do a job? I know he's played at a lower level in the French league, but
bring Ronaldo back.
Don't.
Do it. Cowards.
Ross Murphy says, I'm not Delap's biggest fan, but I feel like there's something in this. Chris Griffith says, Jonathan Davis, he's free, scores goal. Jonathan David, sorry. He's free, he's Canadian, so that's commercially good given the upcoming World Cup in Canada. I love that.
Is it?
It's thought about. Is it? That's straight off the Ineos playbook, that. He's basically a salesman for him. Hey, have I got a player for you? Think about it. World Cup 2026. Where is it? Canada. Who's one of their best players? Jonathan David. Plays for us. We sell shirts in Canada. Happy days. Why not? We'll see what happens with Liam. That one to keep an eye on. Gaz.
A pleasure, mate.
A pleasure, man.
It's
always good when you're back on, man.
On.
We're going to get Gaz on a lot more. Always goes down very well with the viewers, and rightly so, because he is old school.
Is that I can't tell what's real and what's not.
I know.
Is that the actual picture?
Yeah, messing about with Jadon Sancho's head. Make sure if you're not doing so already, you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Going to be back tomorrow. We've got loads going on tomorrow. We've got the news. We've got Off the Bar. We've got Laurie Whitwell. It is all kicking off. So hit that subscribe button. That's been Gaz Drinkwater. I've been Jay Moyer. This has been Paddock Live. Shout out to producer Ben as well for the puns. And thanks for watching.